He just looks like he came from Urban Fare.
Yeah.
Like just like he paid a lot of money for 2 mangoes just now.
Yeah.
Like I just have a feeling this is
Totally.
this guy's life, right?
Yeah.
He's going to go get a bag of dried mangoes from Urban Fare.
Yeah.
Like just this piece of shit, dude.
I don't know where this
It's
is going.
very
but I love it.
specific. Welcome back to Show Yours Podcast. I'm Jackie Agnew.
I'm Johnny DeVito.
And I'm Ty Bossino.
Yeah. And while we got you here, hit that like button, leave a comment, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Share us on your Instagram stories. Give us a tag.
Hell yeah.
Share us with your
Neighbor.
spin coach.
Spin, yeah. You know your spin class.
Spin class.
Go to spin class, yeah.
Go to the coach.
Don't stop. Show me yours podcast.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
How great would it be if there was just a spin class and it's just us being like, so these alien dicks are fucking.
Yeah. If anyone listens to us while they're working out,
I think that, we
give
could
us a shout.
definitely we could bring the energy, you know what I mean? Like,
I feel like our demographic is fit.
Yeah.
I don't spin, man, so I don't
I
know.
don't spin. Oh, bro, you never spun before, bro?
Never. I mean, I'm a little spun out right now. But
You know how like antithetical to our whole vibe spin classes is that we like the concept of us doing a podcast just like standing up is like a whole like concept in itself.
That sounds awful.
Like imagine doing a podcast.
just like in a corner. I don't know, like if we were in a circle, like outside, like
it's
passing
like
joints
an
and
idea for
packing
like
cigarettes.
Bro,
Yeah.
I'm kind of with Jackie though. What if we? Wait a second. Hold on here.
I'm open to
I'm
something.
thinking. I know I'm an entrepreneur, bro.
Okay.
So like, what if we? Like instead of just going on the road as comics and living our dreams, what we could do is part of like on the sides, like during the day, these spin classes. We could be like, who wants to? What would you rather? You go to a spin class and the teacher walks in and he just fucking puts a CD in and presses play,
Yeah.
or he reveals a live podcast
Hey.
in front of the spin class. Right? He charges a little more. He pays us on the side. We get fit as fuck just being in the same room. Right?
I mean, it is kind of hilarious, the idea of us spinning and trying to host a podcast.
Yeah. I think that's the best part is we don't spin. We just, feel like we just, I just think if you're around it, you get fitter.
Totally.
I think that's how it works.
Yeah. You kind of absorb. It's in the air.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah. It's you absorb that kind of like the musk and everything like that. Can we eat chicken while it's happening? Because I think like or burritos or something like that. I would be super into that. The idea
That'd be great. We just ate fat fuck food.
Yeah, right? You gotta. We have
Even
to be.
KFC has a vegan chicken bucket now.
What?
outta
A whole
here.
bucket?
Yeah.
Whoa. So did you get like thighs and...
Oh, I don't know. I've
Drum.
never had it.
Well, we are gonna find out today, ladies and gentlemen. I haven't been to KFC in so long, and I'm
That's
craving
why-
trash right now.
That's why, like, fuck McDonald's, because they are literally, even fucking KFC has a vegan option now. And McDonald's still has nothing.
They don't even have a
pretty
veggie
for-
option, do they? Like other than like a veggie sandwich or some shit like that.
Yeah, you used to be able to order grilled cheese, which is they would take the inside bun from a Big Mac, 2 of those, and then like just like a slice of
Little
cheese,
brioche grease.
Yeah, and then stick it not even on the grill, stick it in the microwave.
Nice.
Yeah, it was really good.
They probably couldn't stick it on the grill because
yeah.
They don't have a grill.
Well, they-
Well,
exactly.
Yeah. But
put it in the steam bucket.
yeah, but
Do you
even now they don't do those anymore. And so if you ask for like a vegetarian option, they'll be like, "Oh, well, we can give you like the vegetarian Big Mac." And what that is everything of a Big Mac except the patty.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So what? You just want shredded lettuce and a tomato?
Yeah, it's so
3 buns?
stupid. Yeah,
That's
but
insane.
in terms of vegan options, there's like the fries. fries, which probably aren't even really vegan.
No, I can't imagine.
Yeah, I don't know, because they're cooking in the same oil as like chicken and shit.
Yeah.
Like
We talked about this, like birthday parties where they had tours.
Yeah. My older brother did that for one of his birthday parties. Yeah, they take you on a tour of the back of McDonald's.
Not a great
anymore,
idea.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. When they had pizza. Yeah. I feel like we've covered this before.
Yeah.
I think I'm so hungry right now that like every topic might revert back to food some way, but everything's gonna be okay. Would you guys mind if I ordered a pizza right now on the show?
But yeah. So fuck McDonald's.
Yeah.
Ty, you went to a hockey game this week.
I sure did, Jackie. Thanks for bringing it up, Jackie. No, I did. To be real, it was fucking dope. So the Habs only come here once a year. And I think this is I feel like it's the first time since I've been able to see them like since COVID and shit like that.
It feels like a long. Yeah. When was the last time you've been to like a game?
It was pre-COVID.
Oh yeah.
It was like pre-COVID for sure. But like, I don't know if they have been here since. I just didn't go to that one.
Were they maybe doing this weird thing with traveling last? I can't remember.
It would suck during COVID because they did play here a lot because all the Canadian teams just play each other. So I was like, fuck, they're here like 1,000 times this year and I can't go to the game. There's just a whole arena with no one there to watch them.
That would be some wild
so
Frenchman pride shit is for you just to apply for a job at the arena.
Hey, listen, I pack a couple hot dog and I sit at that game.
That would be like, in terms of like fucking like 10, 20 years down the road when people are looking back at COVID times and all this like weird shit that was happening that they're going to look at and be like, what the fuck? It's going to be like photos of these huge sports games being played in empty arenas.
Yeah.
Be like, what the fuck was the point of that?
Yeah.
To keep the rest of us inside. Like, it was wild.
It was wild then. But it was dope. It was dope. I was on like the announcer like level, like it was literally as high as you could. But it's dope. You start saying the classic thing. I love whenever you have seats that are not close or whatever, which is every time I've ever been to anything. You all the classic like like uncle shit that you hear of like you can really see the play develop. All that shit is like you instantly turn it. And I am that guy now. I'm that old. And there was a dude behind us that was just like I was like, this guy's just coaching the team. Like he's yelling as if the players are listening to how to play the game, right? And
I tend to do it. Like I admittedly become like obnoxious like that at games.
I was definitely like, being obnoxious. I'm a Habs fan in Vancouver. Like, and I mean, to be honest with you, it was probably 50-50, probably 60-40 actually with Habs fans compared to Vancouver fans.
We saw the game from the TV and we noticed how much red there was, like just in the crowd. Like you could see.
So we sit down. Like I said, I haven't been there for a minute. So their whole intro now for the Canucks is fucking sick. It's like awesome. It's Riders on the Storm sort of situation, and it's like it looks like they just with all these projectors and all this crazy shit. Yeah, it's wild. They've been able just to project it onto the white ice. Yeah. So it's wild. It's
hell yeah.
So all these like raindrops start coming in, and it's just like copyright fucking right. You start hearing the fucking organ. You're like, oh, this is so dope. It's such a great song because it's rainy ass fucking city. So I'm with a really like good friend of mine who I like used to work with ages ago, and his grandson. It's his first game. So I do have my phone out, and I'm like I filmed the fucking podcast on this phone. It's a really good phone camera. It's a good camera. So I'm taking photos of I'm really excited for my friend and his grandson and like this whole thing.
Hell yeah.
And I filmed a little bit of the intro, and there's this fucking Jacob sitting next to me, and he's dressed. There's no jersey, there's no anything. He's dressed like he's got his fucking Blundstones on. He's just like he just looks like he came from Urban Fare. Like he paid a lot of money for 2 mangoes just now. I just have a feeling this is this guy's life, right? He's going to go get a bag of dried mangoes from Urban Fare. Like just this piece of shit, dude.
I don't know where this is going.
Very specific, yeah.
Keep it going, Ty.
He leans over and he goes, "It looks a lot better on your phone."
What a dick.
And I go, "Yeah, it does." I go, "It literally does." It's a really good phone.
Oh my god.
So the whole rest of the time I was just like, let go, boys! This guy's here. God. Oh, it was a classic. Not the first time that I have been to a Canucks game. I did get to seat like on the lower bowl one time, and I had a lady show me to sit down one time.
Dude, I've never been shushed, or you know what I mean. Vancouver is notoriously shitty for I'm trying to like quell, you know what I mean?
It's
like,
insane.
A
It's like it's a hockey game.
event. Yeah, it's
I've
nuts.
seen tennis games that are like crazier.
I've seen them do that shit at like BC Lions games and stuff. Like the Canadians are the only ones that'll let you fucking like really go hard in the paint or whatever.
Yeah.
They want people to scream. But in Rogers Arena when the Canucks are playing, I've actually seen ushers like fucking like shushing people and stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
fucking
insanity.
Craziest shit I've ever
It's
seen.
fucking so dumb. Like it's the worst. I said like, it is the worst sports town.
Yes.
Like it's not a good sports town.
It's
It's
just
not.
the worst town for crowds in general. Like even
Yeah.
like fucking
Yeah,
bands
you're right.
and
It
shit.
translates.
Yeah, even
Yeah,
like bands and shit hate coming here.
Comedy.
Totally.
Yeah, comedy, exactly. I had just the other day
Fuck
actually.
this town.
Yeah. The other day I had these photos come up in my like memories or whatever from when we were about to graduate VFS and we went to a Canucks game with some of our friends there, and we were literally sitting like high as up as you can go against the wall.
Yeah.
Like we were the worst, like literally the worst seats you could possibly get, and we were so fucking rowdy. Like there's these videos of us. I am literally, this was again like when I was in my early 20s, and when I was like shit faced, there was no, I was getting fucking concussions on the train. Like there was no, I literally like could not fucking settle down.
She's a lot of fun.
Yeah. And there's like, cause there's a little bit of space between like the chairs and the wall. And so I was fucking like going behind the chairs, fucking like crawling around other people and shit. Just fucking wild. That was when I lived in my micro apartment too. And there's this videos. We went with like fucking 6 other people. So there's like me and like 6 dudes in my micro apartment, all fucking shit faced, like bouncing on my bed and shit like that. We were like, woo! The amount of fucking noise complaints I got in that place before I even got evicted was like every fucking night I get a text from my landlord being like, Jackie, I've had 4 different people text me saying you're being obnoxious.
I think like with the 2 of us in there, like even if it was like 6 people or whatever, or just the 2 of us, like we both have ridiculous laughs with like mine on the low end and hers on like the high. It was like, I think that would be annoying as fuck.
Oh, especially in those like close living quarters and shit. That night I remember
I was so close to doing one of those.
Oh man, I mean it was great for the time. I mean going to school, it was like on the same, like I was on Hastings and Abbott, and our school was on Hastings and Canby. So it's literally like 2-minute walk, and but it did become like kind of like the party place, which is like not ideal. The micro part, just because it was the closest place, right?
You guys want to go to a tiny party?
I remember like that night when we went to the game doing like wheelbarrow races down the hallway.
But people are like brushing up against
it. When people have to walk down the hallway because it was shared bathrooms on the floor, right? Yeah. So it's like it's very much a communal space. I was
so
terrible.
I get
I
like
was
comfortable
so
in there
bad.
too. Like I just like walk barefoot to a communal bathroom and shit. Just
in like one of my robes.
Trash person, dude.
In one of my fucking robes.
Yeah.
Oh
little
my
dick tip, just like
God.
turn it on the side and stuff like that. You can see my underbutt. You know what I mean?
Oh,
It's a good
yeah.
look for me.
Good look.
Oh my God, Johnny would just fucking smoke cigarettes in my room. Like we were so disrespectful.
Yeah.
Like, it's like a wonder that I didn't get evicted sooner. They had every cause to evict me, and then that like the shit happened with Johnny on the Super Bowl, and that was like, there's no way they're not evicting me after this shit.
It would have been crazy if they didn't, but
Right?
like at that point, you just have to be like, you guys need to respect yourselves.
Yeah, I remember like when
you
it
have respect
first,
for yourselves and kick me the fuck out of here.
yeah, and it was like almost a relief when it happened. It was like, now I have to find a new place because it was like so convenient. I mean, it's so convenient not to move, right?
Yeah,
and
so, that behavior will never change at that location because it's like I've gotten away. What real consequences were there up until leading like the eviction?
Yeah, exactly.
Were you fined or anything like that? Did they ever like? Was there any like?
There was a threat of legal action against Johnny.
No. Before that.
No, never got. Yeah, it was just the eviction, and at that point, it's like, oh, you're evicting me from this fucking micro apartment in the worst area of town. Boo, fucking who? And I like.
I mean, really, if you look at it, like, I mean, how much do you care about the people that you love, right? Would you care enough to maybe stage this elaborate event that makes that, you know what I mean? Some people would probably think that you're a fucking animal and a piece of shit, or did you just do that? You know what I mean? To really to save the one
to show
love.
Right.
So I feel like you do all that for a Klondike bar.
Yeah. And Johnny was like banned from the building after that, but I still lived there for a month. And at that, like, I was so.
You just sneak him in and out of there like a pet you weren't supposed to have.
Sneak. He just came and he helped me move out.
Okay.
Like he was,
I wouldn't
put a fake mustache.
It's like, what are you fucking gonna do? Yeah, exactly.
Over your mustache.
Exactly. Yeah, dude. I'm not really like one for disguises and stuff. So just kind of went in there and.
It's like you've already evicted me.
Yeah.
Like I'm obviously.
You're not big on disguises.
I mean,
dressing up. You strike me like a guy.
I love the idea of dressing up. It's just never really like happened. And every time that we do get the opportunity, like when we did Halloween, we did ZZ Top and ZZ Bottom.
Great.
One year, a lot of fun. TJ and Spinelli
was also
this
very
year,
great.
Fantastic. So I'm like super into it, but it's one of those things that like I don't like really push for it. That like my kind of fun or whatever. We're going to a show tonight. I'm very excited about that. That's something that like that's kind of the direction of fun that I would drive. I do kind of have this. This love for the pageantry though, that if like a box of costumes was ever like busted out, you know what
tickle
I mean?
Trunk?
A little tickle trunk.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, right? Like maybe bring some company tools into the situation. You know what I mean? We could just, pretend to be different people. Like I'm just looking for escape.
I was wondering how long it was going to take you to get the company tools involved. I was like, as soon as I said dress up, I was like, okay, well,
you're asking the wrong guy because
I'm a company man and I like my tools.
I mean, if it could get weird, then it should. I feel like is the motto to live by.
Good.
And then also, but if it wasn't a situation like, you know what I mean, like just like among friends, you know what I mean, like a dance party situation. You know how they have bars with like games and stuff like that. I think it would be cool if there was like a bar with like a costume department or whatever that you can kind of walk in and then everybody can like.
Oh yeah, who doesn't want a shared bar?
Right? Yeah.
I didn't really think that out. I guess that's kind of gnarly.
Yeah.
But yeah. I used
why
to
isn't there like a costume, like a Halloween themed bar where like every day is Halloween or whatever, and you could always.
That's a great idea.
There's got to be a place like that.
I feel like Vegas would have something like this, right?
Yeah, somewhere.
People would just be like, I think that would be the one place where it would be funny if like you're stoked, like you're just gonna go for dinner and then like we'll like dress up like as vampires or something, and then you get there and then like you're the only ones, you know what I mean? Because like not everybody's gonna do it. It's still like a good bar, so just regular people are gonna go in there and drink. Or would it be like a Satan Sweet 16 kind of situation where no costume, no entry?
Well, no costume, no entry. That's pretty.
As a business, you kind of
as a business. That's not the best move. But I feel like if like all the staff and stuff are dressed up, then you're the weird one if you don't dress up in that situation.
Totally.
Have you seen? I mean, it's an iconic episode of Bar Rescue where he does the pirate bar.
What's his name? John what?
John Taffer.
John Taffer's a fucking moron, man. I don't know about this guy. Maggie loves John Taffer.
I do not love John Taffer. I love Bar Rescue.
Okay, all right.
He's an asshole for sure.
Yeah, man, he just drives me fucking crazy. And the funny thing about this pirate episode is that if you like punk rock, anybody that likes...
I do know that episode.
Yeah. Right? It's iconic.
If you like the kind of music that I like and you end up talking to anybody who likes the show Bar Rescue, they're going to immediately tell you about this episode.
That's true.
Because like, is it like the Vandals or something? Like there's like a band is like makes an appearance or whatever. They turn like a punk rock bar into
okay, it was not a punk rock bar. It was a pirate bar.
Yeah.
They were all, not only were they all dressed as pirates, they all took on a persona of a pirate. Like wouldn't drop the fucking
R.
Like
you gotta drop the hard R.
Yeah. And it was like these like
it's the only place it's safe to drop the hard R.
Yeah. And they were like, they they got like really deep into it. They're like, this isn't like a character, this is me. Like they like pirate cosplay 24/7. And so when he tried to change into this upscale bar and they're all wearing like, you know, nice uniforms and shit, like they're visibly uncomfortable.
They got like the
they
got like a broom for the crumbs.
Yeah. Like
This is really posh.
Like they're visibly uncomfortable. Like it's these people, it's like their whole fucking like personality revolves around being a pirate.
And they have to be fine.
And they were, and not only that, like they were like, John Taffer's a fucking asshole, and it's hilarious seeing how different people respond to him. Usually guys will kind of match his level, you know, and try and fight back, and then eventually he'll like out alpha them and they'll kind of like give in kind of thing.
It's the most it's the dumbest
it's
part
wild
of the show.
to watch
because like
it's the same thing.
And he always like plays it as like listen man, like I'm here to save your business or
your
whatever,
family and fucking blah blah blah. He always plays that card at the end, like
man. And like so he's developed a show where he can go in and you know, find somebody, because like a failing business owner usually they're either like not like that engaging on camera, or else they're just like either like they come off as like lazy or defeated and stuff like that. So he can go in there and literally call you a lazy piece of shit, and like, you know, it's kind of set up for you to fucking for you to like kind of belittle somebody. And sometimes like the structure of a lot of the episodes are kind of like he needs to inspire them to find the love in their passion for the bar again and stuff like that. And you're just like, shut the fuck up and make a better, like, you know what I mean? Do the renovation, make the fucking menu. You know what I mean? Like, it always comes down to this thing where it just like highlights John Taffer as like this fucking, you know, father figure or whatever, right? And I can't fucking stand it. It is a really good show.
Yeah.
It does have a weird idea of like he's so just about like margins and all that shit. So it's like I don't think he quite understands like craft markets and shit like that. Where it's like he doesn't get like that like
like pirates, like
But he doesn't like a niche thing for sure.
Yeah, but he did. I mean, the pirate bar had like no, like they were kind of going
you can't be having a pirate bar in fucking.
Do you guys know
Iowa?
You guys know the pirate, the guy that in Vancouver?
No.
Dude, there's a pirate guy and he drinks like at bars and shit. He goes to punk shows and stuff like that. Babe, you know this guy. So at Jaeger's now
there's like a worm on this table
Chow
crawling towards me. I can't stop looking at it because I'm like, I gotta keep eyes on this thing.
Oh my god! Why is there a worm there?
I know, look at it.
Ty, what's going on in your house, man? You got bodies?
It's an old fucking house.
Can you bring in a tissue or something?
Yeah.
It's making me nervous.
I mean, he's moving.
Yeah, right? He's moving at a fucking pretty steady pace here, and it's very clearly coming towards me. Oh, no, those things are fucking pests. I can kill them. Thank you.
Don't worry about the worm.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I had a bit of a diva moment there. I was like really scared of this one, to be honest. I was like, if I look down and it's not there. Yeah, and it wasn't even inching. He was fucking.
He was moving at a pretty
good clip. Yeah, so anyways.
I like doing that. So there's back to Pirate Man. There is a guy who I would see him all the time at the rickshaw for random events, and then also at the bar formerly known as Jaeger's. We do comedy in the back room there now, like Holy Chow or what's that place? What's it?
Lucky Penny or Holy Chow?
It's like a
combo.
Lucky Penny or Holy Chow.
Oh, okay. But so this guy would always be there, and in like a group of 3 dudes, like bar regular looking dudes, and he's the only pirate out of the 3, right? And
how pirate are we talking,
buddy? Okay, so he's got a great hat, fantastic hat.
With this, is it? So what kind of is it? Like a classic, like.
Great question. Glad you asked. It's not the like the classic kind of like if you're gonna draw like a cartoon pirate hat skull crossbones on it. Not like that. It's actually kind of remarkable. It's kind of like a triangular shape, so it kind of has like a. Like if you could put like salsa, guacamole, and sour cream in like these 3 sections.
Okay,
that kind of makes sense, right?
And
it kind of so it looks pretty cool. So he's got like
that is pretty cool.
When you put it that way.
3 sections. And And guac?
And guac.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
Shit, yeah.
Sick.
The Holy Trinity.
So he wears 1 point to the front and 2 kind of off to the side. So it's like it's
Gotcha.
incredibly fucking noticeable. Like, is this guy wearing a fucking pirate hat?
Right.
And long hair, beard, kind of a weathered face as if he'd been at sea for extended
Okay.
periods of time.
Salt dog.
Big time. And I've seen him in a fucking usually like a button-up shirt and a vest.
Nice.
Fucking leather vest, kind of like a cool like beaten leather, kind of matching the material of his hat, right? I don't know if he skinned him from the same animal or what the deal was, right? But the best part about this guy's getup is that he has an array of like items hanging off his back pocket, like really common for like the kids to have like their house keys kind of like jangling or whatever. That's
like with a carabiner.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So imagine that.
Classic carabiner.
It's not a carabiner. No, there's no telescope. He's got like a raccoon tail, like a chunk of like a raccoon tail.
I know this.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know the guy. You know what I mean? And then like a few like
raccoon
other
tail
like
guy.
random items that I don't know if they're more like utilitarian or decoration, but either way, there's like a few kind of items hanging off the side. And I think one time I've seen him with actually like a copper mug, like a fucking Moscow Mule mug. So I think that he definitely like probably adjusts whatever items that he has, you know what I mean, for whatever task or mission, you know what I mean, that he's got to go
Couple
to.
panning things.
But he's a fascinating dude, and he kind of has a funny accent, and I don't know if he's like putting it on, but after like years of drinking kind of in the same room as this guy or whatever, like I'm kind of at like a head nod bar regular kind of thing, so like I don't know him very well, but like I'm not surprised when I run into pirate guy, kind of thing. But we're not buds. We don't buy each other drinks or anything like that. And I think he knows it's because I think he's fucking insane, and I want to hang. I think he knows.
But you have a pirate's hat on the whole time.
Yeah.
And you're looking at his pirate hat.
Yeah.
I feel
like
wishing that your hat could have guacamole, salsa, and sour cream.
If I dumped it, like I'd carry the chips. Like I don't know, but we could definitely.
You're almost having a pirate off with this guy.
A little bit in that sense, and I know that he doesn't want to hang with me because I feel like he thinks I'm like he assumes that I think he's like a novelty, where like you know what I mean. He's probably looking for more like pirate. More somebody to join his crew, right?
Yeah, I think pirate culture is definitely a thing. Like, there's definitely like I mean, it's
for sure.
It's like a steampunk kind of thing. Like that is like your
those
way
bleed
of
into
life.
each other.
Exactly,
100%.
right? Yeah,
100%.
Yeah,
I feel like you one's a gateway to the other. As soon as you buy those fucking goggles, it's game over.
Steampunk is like a more polished version almost, where it's like you pass the pirate phase and you're like, God, those fucking pirates.
Yeah. Oh, you think it's pirates first?
I think so.
And then
I
the
think
steampunk.
I think in terms of the hierarchy, I think pirate is lower on
than the steampunk.
Than the steampunk.
I would agree with
I
that.
would say not necessarily that you go pirate on the way to steampunks, but I think steampunks look down at the pirates.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Because they seem to be a little more advanced.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Definitely. Yeah. I think I won't admit how much steampunkery stuff I've looked at in my life. I think it's really cool. And
of course it's cool.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I just it's one of those things that like that.
Yeah, there's gears and fucking steam and shit. It's dope.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you talking about?
It's a little bit more like educated than pirates, right?
Yeah. I picture a life that I would
basically
have,
just make
like,
a big
cool
watch,
gadgets.
and I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Look at
that work.
Yeah.
Like if you had like a steampunk house or something like that, right? With just like gizmos and shit hanging, cool stuff that the cat could play with and stuff. I just think it'd be rad.
Yeah, it'd be like Flubber. Like his home, like his home lab.
Man, your knowledge of movies in 1998 or 2000, whatever the fuck. I bet you Flubber came out the same year as Master of Disguise. That's what I'm saying.
I want to say Flubber's a bit older.
Probably. You're right. Yeah.
I don't know what my beef with Flubber is, but when I saw it when I was a kid, there was a weekend that I was with like my cousins, my brother and stuff. There was like sleepover, and like Flubber was highly recommended.
Such a ridiculous name for a movie.
And I fucking hated it. I fucking hate Flubber,
I
and I'm a
love
huge
Flubber.
like I love Robin Williams. I don't know why.
That was like the Robin Williams craze. That was like Mrs. Doubtfire, like Jack,
that was the
all
peak of
that
it.
shit. Patch Adams followed.
Yeah.
I was super into Flubber as a kid, and I remember rewatching it, me and my roommate Claire in university, and it fucking held up. Like we were laughing our asses off.
Could you buy? Was there like a Flubber sort of like
Like
you
a
know,
flubber?
like a gack kind of fucking thing or
there
guck, whatever
had
it was
to
called.
have been. Mm-hmm.
There had. I mean, I'm sure.
Like Nickelodeon had to make a fucking flubber.
I'm sure you could
I
buy
think
a
that
flubber,
Power Rangers sold ooze.
You mean
know
Ninja
what
Turtles?
There was a no. There was a
Power
secret of the
Rangers,
news.
too.
There was also or it was like goo or something like that. There's a Power Rangers movie where they're they.
It was either ooze or goo.
I can't remember what it was, but it was pink, and they were fighting some like kind of like demony looking dude or whatever. He was a cool looking like villain, but yeah, the Power Rangers movie was sick.
Power Rangers had some dope ass villains,
Fuck
dude.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's really interesting the way that they did the show. The basically like all the
miniatures and shit.
Well, all of that stuff is from like a Japanese show, right? So there's very little of like
American actors.
Yeah, exactly. So they would just do like high school scenes or whatever, all the stuff where they're just, you know what I mean, it's just American actors or whatever, and then it would cut to all this footage of Power Rangers, and the way that like they had no control over it. So basically, like the next season, they would come with like totally different costumes and shit. They're like, oh, I guess making a new run of toys.
Yeah.
Darn.
Exactly,
Another new season of shit for these
kind
kids
of what
to buy.
It was, right? They made so much fucking money off of that stuff. And the show, I loved so much as a kid, and my mom hated it, and I didn't know why. But I went back and watched it, and it's awful.
It is.
It's the
Her.
worst.
You know
She's great. You know what I mean?
She is
Zordon
great.
And shit like that. Like there was
And
so
what
many
were
cool
the
characters.
putties?
Putties?
What were the gray dudes called?
Oh my god.
What are they called, putties?
I would need to go back. I can't.
Oh, dude,
I just remember I had a fucking toy where you'd like press the belt buckle and it would be Power Ranger and
oh yeah,
like
fuck yeah,
head.
dude.
Fucking cool.
That's
Cool. It's fucking sick.
Yeah, this is good radio.
Yeah. Everyone likes a little. We've been leaning into like the 90s toys lately.
Yeah,
I love them.
Yeah.
I think huge for nostalgia. I just like things to play with, right? So like if I,
has there ever been another generation like kids from the 90s who are fucking that obsessed with having
toys?
Shit from their like I don't like it's
Yeah,
like I'm
nostalgia-
the biggest
Yeah.
I do like my shoes are insane like it's
Yeah.
fucking the same fucking shit.
It's probably like has something to do with like social media, and so we can like revisit these kind of times from our past for like the first time, really, and like the generation kind of ahead of us when they were at this age, like they weren't, they would like maybe remember something fondly, but couldn't like as like heavily like dig into it as we can now, especially with all these fucking like Netflix docs and all of this shit like that keep bringing it back up.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the toys that made us sick. And
yeah,
I think
that's what I would
like
say.
there's always been like a culture around like collecting, and I think that now it's like moved into like you don't have to go to like conventions and like nerd out and find like which run is of toys or whatever, because there's some people that that have to collect them all, and some like Star Trek and things like that or whatever. There's like eras of like action figures or whatever where they kind of like they look at who is going to be like enjoying them, or kids going to be playing with them, or people going to be like kind of collecting them. So they'll release like so many different runs of figures and stuff like that or whatever. So like people are going to like get that whole kind of collection. And I think that what you have like now is such like a everybody's just like has a phone in their hand, right? And like Amazon is the fucking worst, but it's getting better. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it'll just like advertise like tools and stuff like that, but they're like specialty tools and not in my trade. And I'm like, nice try, Amazon. Like keep going. But then there'll be like a Michael Myers toy for like $60 or whatever, and it's incredible, like 4 different heads and stuff like that. Shit. And I'm like, that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, well, like nostalgia is also like such like a business now, and so
Yeah,
like
it's
with like
fucking wild. It works like so good.
Well, exactly, and so I think with all of that marketing and stuff kind of it's taken advantage of, and so then again it just gets heightened in us where we're like obsessed with it because we're constantly like inundated with like kind of thinking about these things from the past.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what I mean? They're just like they just know that we're all fucking sad people, and they want to market our fucking childhood right back to us. so we could be better this time.
Remember when it was fun? Remember when the world was fun?
Exactly. Right?
I did bring up when we saw my dad last weekend. I brought up the Furby, and he confirmed that he saw the Furby when he was going through my stuff.
Wow.
He didn't remember what he did with it, which made me really upset. And
he did make a joke like he threw it away.
Yeah, and I was like, the instruction was throw nothing away.
Do as you're told. The instructions were to throw nothing away.
Parents have like
great.
fucking two separate
How
storage
dare you throw out
lockers.
my family? Get this worm away from me. What
Can we bring in a fucking towel to get rid of this fucking worm?
My God.
McDonald's.
McDonald's doesn't have a vegan burger. Those pieces of shit. Someone kill this worm on me.
Yeah. I just don't understand why doesn't think I like him.
Can we talk about Jackie? Are you the bitch that they think that you are?
I'm gonna beep it out. It's fine.
Okay, because I almost said something earlier. I'm like, no, there's no context. I'm not gonna.
Just deep comedy baseball. This is what happens when I go out drinking and shit, and people start telling me secrets. They're not going to be be secrets.
You're such a dude for people to do that, though. I bet you that's been a thing for a long time for you.
But it's but it's
people
not
can really
even,
open up to me. They're like, "Hey, you're a piece of shit."
Totally.
Right? I think that it's like because I'm not going to judge them. It's like every time there's a story or whatever, it's like I can at least relate. You know what I mean in some way, right? Unless you fucking
no. What they want is they want you to tell them something worse,
and I will.
I will, and I totally. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
And the thing is that he'll like come back and tell me, and then I am just like such like a gossip queen that like as soon as we get to ties, I tell ties. Like I need to now have the experience of sharing this information with someone.
Yeah, it's fucking hilarious.
If there's any comics out there that think that you can confide in me, you absolutely can, but just know that I'm going to be drunk when I get home.
Yeah.
And I like to talk. Some of that might, you know what I mean, not, stay disclosed, but you know what I mean? That's the...
Yeah,
I
did. When we were at my dad's last weekend, I like mentioned that we were recording the podcast earlier or whatever. He was like, "You should have brought Ty," and I was like, "Oh, and
yeah, I know."
Yeah, he was like, "Yeah, no."
Did he really?
He was like, it gets better. He was like, "Yeah, no, like whenever like." Whenever like we invite you guys over, like the invite's always extended to Ty. Ty,
you're like,
come to
yeah,
all
we'll
the
see about
family
that.
I was like, you want Ty to like come to all the family dinners or whatever? He was like, yeah, I want to be Ty's dad. So I think he's been listening.
How long have you been sitting on this information for?
We wanted to tell you in person.
We had to tell it on air.
Yeah.
And actually, Ty, that's...
I just have something in both of my eyes. Hold on.
That's not it. He's actually here right now.
Just popsicle with a Tim face on.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, if you guys Maury Povich me right now, that'd be sick.
We just take you to boot camp.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Scared straight.
Yeah, I'm just with a bunch of fat kids.
There's a lot of different episodes, right? So if you're gonna say,
I don't think I need to be in this camp with a bunch of these fat kids. I don't have it. Like, what?
We're gonna bring out a bunch of trans women, and we're gonna have you guess which one's a guy.
Yo, did you see? Speaking of Maury and all that shit, you know, Bad Baby. Or whatever, like yeah. So I don't know if you ever seen
Caleb
outside
or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know if you ever seen Caleb Presley. He like works for Barstools. He does these Sunday conversations. It's like a super like a weird fucking interview. He's hilarious to the questions that he asks, but he just did one with her, and it's fucking insane.
Oh yeah,
really? Yeah, it's so great. And then so it's Caleb Presley, and then for Barstool, and also Glennie Balls from Barstool, and they call it Sunday conversation because it comes out on Sunday, and then Glennie just sits there and eats an ice cream sundae. But he always dresses up like they did one with like Machine Gun Kelly, and then like Glennie Balls is this big fucking dude. He just dressed up exactly like Machine Gun Kelly, and then for the Bad Baby one, he dressed up as Dr. Phil. Really? So good. Yeah, you need to go check that out. It's amazing.
That's so funny. So we have a breaking news story.
Oh, I'm pumped for that.
38 minutes in. This is awesome.
Every monk in this Thai temple defrocked after testing positive for meth. Here we go.
Dude.
Meth monks.
A Buddhist temple in central Thailand has been left without monks after all of its holy men failed drug tests and were defrocked, a local said on Tuesday. 4 monks, including an abbot at a temple in Phetchabun province's Bung Sam Phan district,
I know the place.
Tested positive for methamphetamine on Monday. District official Boonlert Tin Tap Thai told this publication. The monks had been sent to a health clinic to undergo drug rehabilitation, the official said. So first of all, I just love the term defrocked.
Yeah, defrocked is.
Yeah.
Defrocked sounds like a medieval dirty talk.
It
though.
does.
Right? Yeah.
I got.
I shall defrock you, my lady.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, we'll have a little dinner. We'll defrock.
Defrocked by the fireplace.
Dinner defrock?
Defrock by the fire.
So it was 4 monks.
4 monks.
You know what's crazy thing? 3 of them were Wu-Tang members.
The Shaolin sword style.
Yeah, bro.
I
the
think
spirit of
that-
ODB is very much alive.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
100%. You guys meditate, right?
Yes.
Yes.
I do math. No, I'm just kidding.
I
There was a lot of energy
mastitate.
drinks. There was a lot of energy drinks going on in the bathroom. Basically, what
Ty's the meth head here.
well, apparently, actually, yeah, called out on stage. Ty, when you were doing drugs, do you think that it would help a meditative state?
That's the fucking craziest thing to me because as soon as you said like I was like, oh well, they have to do a lot of meditating. I'm like, I don't know how you sit still.
Right?
Like,
yeah,
I can't do that.
exactly.
It's hard enough for me now. Like it's to do 10 minutes a day.
It would
of,
also
like, sit
be
still.
like
These guys gotta do it in
fucking
hours.
like terrifying, you know?
Right.
If you were high and trying to meditate, like I don't want to think about myself that much if you're
No.
Making
That's the reason
those
that
poor
I'm doing
decisions.
drugs.
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
Yeah,
Like, that
exactly.
sounds like a-
Yeah,
that
hello.
sounds like
Yeah.
Trying to get away from
Yeah,
it.
that
Yeah.
sounds like a terrible time to meditate.
Who I really want to know like the backstory here because like if meth is like a huge problem in this community, in this country, whatever the case is, right? Then you know what I mean. The temple or like any place of like worship or whatever would be like I know like in Catholic and Christians, you know, fucking churches and shit, they have like AA meetings in the basement and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a place for for them to kind of combat addiction and stuff like that and kind of bring people in. So at what point do you think it was like somebody bringing meth to a monk being like, yo, you got to try this shit?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm
was
at.
it like
Yeah,
a
and
monk
then it
sitting
got
around
around.
being like, I got to see what the hype's all about. And then coming back because there's only 4 guys in this temple. And have you ever like hid your extracurricular activities from your coworkers only to find that your coworkers are just as fucked up as you are?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You work in bar situations and stuff
Oh,
like
yeah,
that, right?
yeah.
People are fucking animals.
For sure.
You know?
It's interesting because it's like maybe it's not the. I mean, obviously they're not just meditating. Is it literally just 4 dudes in this whole fucking?
I guess so. Yeah.
That's
I
wild.
mean,
Because
yeah.
think about all the fucking work that's got to be done.
No,
Yeah,
totally.
right?
To like just
they're
stay
to
alive,
upkeep
like
a temple.
yeah, it's like so you're probably working like fucking crazy.
Yeah, but
So I wonder if
Yeah.
it's that. If it's one of those like I gotta study for my SATs.
Yeah,
It's
I
fucking-
gotta
but it's like, I
stay
gotta
up.
fucking clean this goddamn. You know what I mean?
The way I
Buddha's
imagine
getting a little
it-
dusty over there.
Yeah.
He's huge.
Yeah.
I gotta fucking. I need a little pick me up
Yeah.
to dust that belly off, bro.
Yeah, I imagine it happening as like one of them. There was like a weaker monk kind of thing, and you know the wrong guy found him at the wrong time or whatever, and he kind of he got pitched in a way that he was like, okay, they kind of dressed it up a little bit for him.
Oh, there's
And
some
then-
fancy meth salesmen out there.
Yeah,
They can really
and
talk
so
you
then
into it.
he dabbled in the meth, and it had a positive effect on his experience, and then through him he kind of did this.
You're noticing like, hey, you're getting a lot of shit done.
Oh yeah.
You
exactly.
seem to be enlightened a little bit.
You know how
Yeah.
I'm
Walking
doing it?
around here.
yeah.
Seem to be on a higher level.
Yeah.
Get on my
Give
level.
me some-
bro.
yeah.
The temple is now empty of monks, and nearby villagers are concerned.
But full.
Yeah,
of
but
meth.
full of
It's all
meth heads.
boarded up. Spray paint everywhere.
Fires.
Yeah.
Oh, God. The nearby villagers are concerned they cannot do any merit making, he said. Merit making involves worshippers donating food to monks as a good deed.
There's
Well, that food's going to waste.
Yeah, right? Yeah,
I'm,
that's what they yeah.
seem to have lost my appetite for the last 15 days.
Yeah, where do they think that food was going up to this point?
Are you guys fasting? Something like that.
Yeah.
I'm really fast.
Yeah. Boonlord said more monks will be sent to the temple to allow villagers to practice their religious obligations. Thailand is a major transit company for methamphetamine flooding in from Myanmar's troubled Shan state via Laos, according to the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime. And I was just talking about how much meth goes for on the street. Yeah, so like obviously this is a microcosm of a greater problem within Thailand.
Sure.
But yeah, it is interesting.
It's crazy when the spot gets blown up.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah. How many other temples of monks out there are fucking high on meth?
Well, I think that like what we have to like assume is that we might be like culturally insensitive and thinking about like a monk as if they're kind of like cut off from the rest of the world. You know,
Which
But I
is
think-
not the case. You got to go into town to get fucking rice at some point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like
yeah.
absolutely. So like is it out of
They're
like,
at the
realm of-
airport.
Exactly.
I always see them at the airport. They're always
No shit.
flying.
Yeah. Where the fuck are these guys going?
Dude, the fucking air miles that those fuckers collect.
100%, right? You
Yeah.
got to find plywood, you know what I mean, to
You're a
break
monk.
in half, right? How are you going to smash bricks unless, you go to the source to get them, right? So I think that it's interesting how many, like, people that you look at because their role in society, completely makes your brain kind of put them in a different category, like, oh, they wouldn't be capable of this, right?
Right.
So what do you think, like, cocaine priest, meth monk in a ring, who wins?
Meth monk.
You think meth monk?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
because of the Shaolin skills.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. PCP rabbi.
PCP preacher.
Yeah,
PCP preacher from the
yeah.
south.
Oh.
Dude, dabbing his shit. Like,
Yeah.
Oh.
I
Yeah.
say now.
Yeah.
I think
Instead of just having your before, he just beats the
Yeah.
100%. I think if you could, like, that would be one of the most like interesting conversations that you could have. A PCP rabbi, PCP preacher. Sorry, you know what I mean. What would a rabbi be on?
Ritterall or Adderall rabbi.
Yeah, okay, maybe he's tied
Ritalin,
into
I was saying-
Ritalin rabbi.
he's tied
Roofie
into the
rabbi.
pharmaceutical company
Huh?
somehow.
Roofie rabbi.
Oh, roofie rabbi.
That's
Rabbi.
roofies himself.
Okay, well,
A preacher on PCP. I think I'm gonna give it to the
Yeah.
PCP.
Well, yeah, no, I do think that it's funny if like if a rabbi's just carrying around a fucking bottle of G. And he just likes to chill out, man. But
GHB geisha.
yeah, I don't know if they're a religious figure, but
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
We're just naming. We're just naming.
We're just
things.
naming
David
stuff
drugs.
like that.
I'm just naming things that I miss.
Yeah.
Because I wonder, like, how many times have you seen, like, like
geisha?
a bunch of times, actually. I'll send you some links for sure. But how many times have you seen, like, a preacher or whatever, especially, like, you know what I mean, Baptist preachers and stuff like that going nuts? I
I do
wanna
have
know,
cokey energy.
They do.
100%,
Oh, yeah,
right?
for sure.
So, like, I think that these guys just kind of, got the the short end of the straw here, right? Because you want a nice long straw. I feel like that because you don't want to be, you know what I mean.
I always want a long straw.
I prefer it because I like to wear my hat forward, but you know what I mean. You don't want to spin that thing around like you're fucking Sylvester Stallone and over the top every time that you're doing it. You know what I mean? It just kind of it doesn't look cool. But at the end of the day, I think that if you could like line up every type of like religious sect and like give them all drugs or whatever, and then put like that conversation onto like onto YouTube or something like that, I think that would be the most interesting thing because like at
That
the end
would
of the
be.
day, somebody's got to be like, is this a bunch of bullshit?
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of stories of like when people used to have like religious experiences and stuff like that. It's because they were eating like moldy ass
Right.
bread
Yeah.
that had like spores and shit on them.
Totally.
Yeah.
And like people would
They'd
be
be
just tripping
tripping.
balls,
Yeah.
Have
not
you-
really knowing what the fuck's going on, and being like,
Yeah.
and you're being told this stuff about Jesus and all this stuff. It's like that's kind of what you're tripping out about.
Right.
Have you
I
heard
mean-
about the town in London that got like the entire town like I think it was like their water supply or whatever
Yes.
got contaminated and
Yeah.
everybody was tripping out like
Yeah.
that. Oh, it's
That's
fascinating.
crazy.
Yeah,
Wow,
because
shit.
it's that like argot or whatever, something like that. Like it's happened like with bread and stuff too.
Yeah.
If the if like the wheat and stuff like that starts to mold before it goes in, then it's like the same like chemical as like the prime component in LSD, and everybody in town gets fucked. And they're fascinating stories.
Damn.
And, yeah, because
That's
like,
cool.
have you ever been dosed?
No. I
Oh,
mean,
wow. if you get like a surprise drug trip come on, it's never happened to me, but
Sounds
like
terrible.
yeah, man,
I
I have to like talk to myself like this is what's happening, and I got here. You got to like party your way through it, or else this is gonna be a bummer, right?
Yeah,
so like
if
imagine
you don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
Oh
like
my
if you
God.
go over to your neighbor like tripping out, like holy fuck, like something's happening or whatever, and he opens the door and he's tripping out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Somebody's getting late.
Oh man, yeah, that's
yeah.
We're fucking up.
I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Listen to psychedelic rock or something.
Final note on the story. One more thing to say about defrocked.
Yes. Yes.
I do, because it has a very strong imagery in my head that I enjoy. I picture like these monks like in their fucking robes and stuff, and just like a hand comes and one foul swoop.
Yeah.
Defrocked.
Just strip these
Like
guys butt naked and send them
just
on their way.
Like it's a fucking pair of Adidas tearaways.
Yeah.
I don't know why this nice nostalgia thing works. Yeah. Okay. That'd be fucking. Did he just work his way down the line like? Throws him on the floor, or does he like hold him over his hand to get washed for the next?
Yeah, throws him over.
Yeah.
They're pretty respectful in that sense.
Yeah.
The arm, and then kicks him in the behind.
And then
all right.
to get out of here.
In the keister.
Do they get fired? Do they go to like rehab? Like how does that work?
It
They
said
were
they're going to
sent
rehab,
rehab.
which is
They were
cool.
sent to
Yeah,
rehab, which
right
is that is like
It's cool because they
that's
have
a
it in
good way to deal
Thailand,
with
and it's
it.
like I feel like they have extremely strict drug laws.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that they're
yeah.
probably like especially if it's like it's happening like at a temple or something like that. Maybe the community's like, oh fuck, we got a bigger problem than we thought here or something like that. Maybe there's a little compassion that we're seeing from.
Yeah,
people.
they're like,
I
who
think
do we
that
give
could
all
be
this
cool.
food to
Yeah,
make my
Yeah.
merit?
give it to me, man. I'm fucking starving right now.
Yeah. Got that vegan KFC.
Oh, we're thinking about it.
All right. Well, that wraps that one up. At minute 50, we're moving in to the album for this week.
What album do we got?
Oh, thanks for asking. For the first time, I
Fucking
think
music
we're doing
podcast. What is that bullshit?
for I think arguably the first time we're doing a soundtrack.
Yeah,
this week.
Which is appropriate that we gave it so much time to talk about.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah. We are doing the Almost Famous soundtrack. My favorite movie. This movie. There's a long history with me and old Timmy Boy here. For those who haven't
My
seen,
new dad.
Yeah, as you know, you were there too. Anyone who hasn't seen the movie, you should maybe watch it. But basically, it came out, I believe, in 2000. And so whenever it came on DVD, whether it was like later that year, 2001, whatever, my dad had it on DVD, and we both just like loved this movie so much. We would watch it like fucking goddamn near every day. And so, and then like I like continued watching it like throughout my whole life. You know, it's always just been like a movie I'll put on like at least once a year kind of thing.
We just watched it. It's fantastic.
We did, yeah. And so I was thinking about, you know, albums that have like really like influenced my like musical taste now. And when we were watching this movie, I realized that like this soundtrack and this movie had like such a huge part, together with the fact that this was like my dad's kind of era too. It's like 70s classic rock, kind of this era that's being acted out on screen. And so the combination of just this movie and like loving this movie and like the whole world, and then like kind of my dad being so attached to it too, I think really kind of like set the blueprint for the type of music that I still tend to go towards now.
Definitely, it really shows. It really shows, and it's cool as hell that like that you get to share that with your dad. Sorry, Ty.
I get to like spit it out,
I gotta
Jack.
get emotional here because that's one of the things. Like when I was growing up, like my dad was in Vancouver and I was like 8 hours away. So like the few times or whatever that we do like get to bond, if we were spending those times with anything that had anything to do with music, you know, he'd like take me to like a Green Day show or like Pennywise and Dropkick Murphys the next time after and stuff. And no matter like where I've been and like what I've done, and like I'm gotten into like a whole bunch of other stuff, the core of what I listen to, it starts with like those those moments or whatever, right, where you kind of find something that you know what I mean, that's like, you know, that hits you for a reason, right? And I think that it's cool that you get to share that, you know what I mean, with the old man, and the impact that movie has had, not only I think like the way that you like view the world, or the way that you dress, and the way, you know what I mean, right? Like there's like so much there that you can see like directly affected by that, and I think that's like just cool for me to see. But like I'm trying to think of like a soundtrack to a film, you know what I mean, that was that influential in like my taste in music, because every other thing, like I'm pretty like boxed into the stuff that I listen to, and music soundtracks are the thing that really kind of like opened my ears to something else, like Reservoir Dogs soundtrack, like pops up.
That's fucking wild that you say that, because I was like, oh, it's like, I don't know if I have it. I was like, oh, Reservoir for Dogs for sure, like a ton of that stuff. There's such a great way to get into a mix of different things, and because there are you identify so much with something visual with it, like
exactly.
You know, certain songs. It's like, and Tarantino talks about that too. I don't hear "Stuck in the Middle with You" without thinking of a cop with one ear, fucking getting gasoline dumped all on him. And it's like I identify so much with that, like that song and that scene. Like,
oh, totally.
Yeah, it has a huge impact.
Yeah, Mr. Blonde. It's one of the wildest fucking
right.
You know what I mean? Like,
but and then this soundtrack, especially, there is such a good mix of stuff. Throughout this kind of sound, and it's such a great way to get into like different styles of music. Because sometimes they'll throw in something that's like not necessarily even going with the genre. It's like something new.
Totally. Yeah, and particularly this movie, since it is like about music. And so like every, like, you know, like listening to the soundtrack, all of these songs, like I can't, like you said, I can't hear them without like literally in my head, like seeing the scene. So like fucking, Simon and Garfunkel, like America, that's kind of the first, montage-y moment in the movie when his older sister Zooey Deschanel kind of moves away, and like every time, like as an adult now, that kind of having the perspective of what like this movie has like meant to me growing up. So now as an adult, whenever I watch the movie or whenever I hear that song, like I immediately like tear up for like it's not like it's a sad moment in the movie, but it's just like triggers a core memory.
Though, you know what I mean? Because she gets the records and all that stuff. You know what I mean?
And that's so the other thing is that right? in that scene when he's looking through his sister's records, seeing it as a kid, it was like, oh my, like these are all my dad's records. Like kind of seeing it and being like, oh, this isn't just like, and like he does like Dylan, like Blonde on Blonde, and like growing up, my dad was always trying to convince us that Bob Dylan was the shit, right? And like
he's still working on it.
But as like kids, you're naturally like, you know, like you just start
fuck
making
this nasally bastard.
Exactly.
Totally.
But then seeing like Blonde on Blonde in this scene, being like, oh shit, you might have a point, kind of thing. Like other people seem to like this guy too. But seeing like and Joni Mitchell Blue and like all of these records that I saw that my dad had, and kind of seeing it on screen and being like, oh, like, you know, he's not just full of shit, I guess, or whatever. You know, like there's kind of there's a history to these records, and just I love fucking the band in the movie Stillwater. The fact that they have like fucking Fever Dog on this soundtrack, which is such a fucking good song. And fucking this movie, like again, like as an adult, whenever I go back and watch it, I'm always like amazed by the amount of cameos they have. Like fucking Jimmy Fallon as the new manager that comes in. He's just like the biggest fucking dork, but he plays the part, and he's just like an asshole too, and plays the part so well. Fucking Mark Maron has like a really small little.
Yeah, there is I haven't watched this for a minute now.
It's so good.
It's fucking amazing.
But Mark Maron's cameo, so he's like the bar promoter or whatever, when they play a song and their guitarist gets electrocuted and they're like, you know, they leave in the middle of their set, they're on the bus, and he's kind of like running after them, like yelling at them, and they have to go through this gate to get out, and he's like, lock the gate, and that's the beginning of his podcast now on What the Fuck with Mark Maron. Right. At the beginning of every episode, it's like, lock the gate. And I remember that's how I knew it was him, because he doesn't look anything like he does now. And I remember when I first started getting into kind of Mark Maron and discovering his podcast, and me being like, why does he have that Almost Famous line at the beginning of
that's
his
hilarious.
But yeah, I recommend any. It's funny. What, like, especially like showing it to you and stuff, because I tend to like assume that anything that I'm into is like lame and embarrassing.
Oh yeah.
And so not really knowing if it's like actually like a good movie or if it's just because I've attached so much to it.
Right.
And so like actually, showing it to you and like you actually enjoying it was like
getting the validation
a huge relief.
To that kind of point, I remember when this movie came out, and I remember being like, there were a lot of just like girls that liked this movie, and it was kind of around the time when it's like that was a big like transition time, because for a while like no one I knew fucked with these bands.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it was cool one day. Yeah. And also it was cool to have Zeppelin t-shirts and shit like that.
Totally.
And playing guitar was cool. And I
Yeah.
was like, I used to be made fun of for that shit.
Yeah.
So it was like, at first I was kind of like, oh, is this something like, I remember just kind of hating on it, being like, this is some chick fucking movie, like whatever, it's about some groupie, like fucking like whatever. And then like watching it, be like, oh god damn, this is actually really good.
Yeah, exactly.
Even at that age, right? But now,
Totally.
like, of course, it's unbelievable.
Well, it is funny because like this particular like soundtrack, it doesn't hit me. I think I like it because of the way that like, you know, like you showed me it, and you know, kind of like it's like adorable that it's like it's your thing, right? And I kind of like it for that. But like a lot of the, you know what I mean? It doesn't like. It's not like a high energy soundtrack by any means or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of like even like the Simon and Garfunkel. There's a lot of like songs or whatever that I would assume like that are like deeper cuts to me. You know what I mean? I don't know a whole lot about it. That's you know, that's kind of going on. But it's funny how much of a blind spot this kind of rock and roll or whatever is for me, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy how much of 3 or 4 songs or something on this I recognized or whatever, which is cool.
Yeah, I think I just like remembered this, but the other thing with this movie is that Kate Hudson, I was always like, she in that era, she was doing a bunch of movies. She was kind of the it girl. And I always, this was obviously the first role that I saw her in and like always associated her with, but you know, as time went on, like I've always liked her, but I remember as a kid, I like had I've always had like ears that kind of stick out a little bit, and as a kid I was really self-conscious about it because it was more noticeable when I was like younger.
Yeah, when you're
stuff.
a fucking kid, you just,
exactly.
You already kids just look goofy as fuck.
Yeah, and I remember my mom would always be like, "Well, like you know, like Kate Hudson, like Penny Lane, like she has ears that like stick out, and she's like a movie star or whatever." And so that was always like I always like associated that with her. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Well, Kate Hudson's the prettiest girl in the world.
I think the attaching any kind of like, you know, self-conscious, like if you could like get that out of your head or whatever at like a young age, because like that shit'll like stick with you, and you could even see it like, especially with comedians or whatever, like just like their insecurities built into their act or whatever. It's like, you know, you gotta get.
Oh
yeah,
for sure.
The cool thing, like speaking of cameos or whatever, or parts, Jason Lee has a fantastic part.
Yeah,
it was,
it's great.
You know, not from Alvin and the Chipmunks fame. One of the first guys to have a really cool 3-flip.
That guy is so dope.
Hell yeah.
That guy is so
the
dope.
Chipmunks song at the beginning too, the very beginning scene where it's like Christmas time. It's like Christmas.
Oh.
Yeah, that's always been one of my favorite Christmas songs because of it.
We've listened to a lot of Christmas jams. I don't know when this episode's coming out, but happy holidays to you and yours. All that
probably
good
after
stuff.
Christmas.
Oh shit!
So
Happy New Year, you fucks.
Happy New Year, motherfucker.
Our just to wrap it up, probably our 100th episode will be coming up soon when this comes out.
It will be coming up very soon. Absolutely.
So keep your eyes peeled for that. There's some stuff in the
We
works.
got some fucking
We got
exciting
some-
shit for y'all.
It's gonna be really fucking cool, guys. Keep your ears to the ground, or to your neighbor's butthole.
That too. And
Spin class.
Spin class. And anywhere, since we don't know when this is coming out, anywhere we're gonna be is probably there's gonna be links.
Click the links.
below.
Follow us on the
fucking link.
socials. You
Get
know
a
how to
link.
find us. Punch it in your fucking Googler, bud.
Yeah. And signing off.
Peace.